I am standing next to the new 2025 EX30, and this could be the most important Volvo of all time, and here are 7 reasons why. Now, probably a few more reasons than 7, but that's what we're gonna go with for this video. All right, first things first. The EX30 is an all-electric utility vehicle, and it's actually Volvo's smallest SUV ever. This thing has a compact car wheelbase spanning a curt 104.3 inches. From bumper to bumper, the EX30 is just shy of 167 inches long, and that makes it about 13 inches shorter than a Honda HR-V, with a wheelbase that's nearly identical. Volvo engineers really pushed the axles out to the ends of this vehicle, which not only looks cool, but should provide extra interior room as well. Giving American drivers some welcome choice, the EX30 will be offered with 2 different powertrains. The single-motor extended range version is rear-wheel drive, and it has 268 horsepower and 253 pound-feet of torque, which is enough to get this vehicle from a standstill to 60 miles per hour in a legitimately quick 5.1 seconds. Now, the fancier twin-motor version, of course, is all-wheel drive thanks to an additional front-mounted dynamo, which helps provide 422 horsepower and 400 pounds of twist. Absolutely heroic numbers in such a small vehicle. And that's enough to get the EX30 to 60 miles per hour in an explosive 3.4 seconds, making this the quickest production Volvo ever. Point number 3 is range. Again, this is not a large SUV, so don't expect to cross the lower 48 on a single charge, but the overall figures are still very respectable. No matter the model, this Volvo has a lithium-ion battery of the NMC variety, one with a gross capacity of 69 kilowatt hours. Now, this pack provides an estimated 275 miles of range in the single-motor model and 265 in the twin-motor performance variant, a reduction of just 10, which ain't bad at all. Of course, we always like to see at least 300 miles, but when you consider this Volvo's price, which we will get to in just a minute, the range is actually pretty phenomenal. As for DC fast charging, this thing should top out at 153 kilowatts, which is an okay performance, enough to get you from 10 to 80% in around 27 minutes. Inside, the EX30 is loaded with recycled and renewable materials like denim, flax, and even a wool blend fabric made with 70% recycled polyester. Overall, about 25% of the aluminum as well as 17% of both the steel and plastic used in this vehicle have been recycled. At the end of its life, roughly 95% of the EX30 should be recyclable. Just chop it all up, melt it down, and extrude it into a new car. That's how it works, right? Point number 5 is the Tesla effect. True to form, this Volvo's interior is absolutely lovely. Cleanly styled, beautifully built, and of course, highly functional, though they did end up copying Tesla in one significant way, though perhaps not a good one. You see, there's only one display in the EX30 here. It is a lovely 12.3-inch portrait-style touchscreen mounted right here on the center of the dashboard. And of course, this is where the Google-based infotainment system lives, but it's also how you keep tabs on your speed and, of course, other vehicle warnings. There is no traditional instrument cluster, and I'm kind of old-fashioned, so I think I would much prefer having a regular gauge cluster here or even a head-up display, but Volvo says this system should work fine. Your eyes do not have to move too far from the road to keep tabs on how fast you are going. And the company also has a couple other good reasons for only putting one display in the EX30 here. Number 1, it costs a lot less to put one screen in, and 2, it takes a lot of carbon emissions to build displays like this, so by only putting a single screen in here, they're greatly reducing the overall lifetime emissions associated with the EX30. Now, of course, I think I would prefer having a gauge cluster, but I'm gonna reserve judgment until I actually drive this vehicle to see how well this setup works. Next, let's talk pricing. Volvo usually isn't known as a bargain basement brand, but surprisingly, the EX30 will be extremely affordable. This pint-sized SUV starts at right around $36,000, including delivery, significantly less than the average new vehicle transaction price, which is right around 49 grand these days. And finally, if you like what you see here, and let's be honest, there's plenty to love about the new EX30, you don't have to wait too long to get behind the wheel of one of these SUVs. You can pre-order one in the US right now, with deliveries likely starting in the summer of 2024. Next up, watch my full review of the Volvo C40 Recharge, a lovely all-electric SUV with enough style and performance to offset a couple minor downsides. Click right over here to check that out now.